the Online Guitar Guy, and on this video I'm going to teach you how to play Rock and Roll Pain Train by Kid Rock. Now on this video there's going to be two lessons that you're going to learn basically with two different guitars, because there's an acoustic part and an electric part. And I'm going to teach you how to play both parts of the song with both guitars. But before we get started, let's tune our guitars first. 6th string E. 5th string A. 4th string D. 3rd string G. 2nd string B. 1st string E. Okay, now as I said before, there are two parts to this song, an acoustic part and an electric part. Now I'm going to teach you the acoustic part first. So the first chord you're going to play here on this guitar is going to be a G chord. And you'll play this chord by putting your second finger on the 3rd fret of the E string, your first finger on the 2nd fret of the A string, your 3rd finger on the 3rd fret of the B string, and your 4th finger on the 3rd fret of the E string. And that's going to sound like this. Okay, now the next chord I'm going to show you here is going to be a C chord. And you're going to play this chord by putting your 3rd finger on the 3rd fret of the A string, your 2nd finger on the 2nd fret of the D string, and your 1st finger on the 1st fret of the B string, right here. And that's going to sound like this. Now the last chord you're going to learn here is going to be a D chord, which is a little bit of an easier chord to play. You're going to play this by putting your 1st finger on the 2nd fret of the G string, your 2nd finger on the 2nd fret of the E string, and your 3rd finger on the 3rd fret of the B string. And that's going to sound like this. Okay, so now I'm going to get to the part of teaching you the chords on the electric guitar now. And the first chord I'm going to teach you here is going to be a G chord, but in a different form. This is going to be a power chord with a G. You're going to put your 1st finger on the 3rd fret of the E string, your 3rd finger on the 5th fret of the A string, and your 4th finger on the 5th fret of the D string. And that's going to sound like this. Okay, the next chord I'm going to teach you here is going to be a C power chord. And this is going to be played basically just like the G power chord. All of these chords here are going to be played the same way, but just in different positions. So, like I said, the G chord was on the 3rd fret, 1st finger on the 3rd fret of the E string, 3rd finger on the 5th fret of the A string, and 4th finger on the 5th fret of the D string. you're just going to move that down into the string starting from the A string. And that's going to sound like this. So it's your first finger on the 3rd fret of the A string, your 3rd finger on the 5th fret of the D string, and your 4th finger on the 5th fret of the G string. And now the last power chord is going to be the D chord in the power chord form. And that's going to be played on the 5th fret, your first finger on the 5th fret of the A string, your 3rd finger on the 7th fret of the D string, and your 4th finger on the 7th fret of the G string. And that's going to sound like this. Okay, so now we're back to the acoustic guitar to start learning how to actually play the song now. Now this is a song basically because you see with the two guitars you could probably actually play this with somebody, it might make it sound a little bit better. So anyway, when you're playing the G chord, first chord's gonna be the G chord. You're gonna go from G to C and back to G again. So it's gonna sound like this. So you see you play the G chord for 3 measures, then you go to the C chord, play that for 2 measures, and then back to the G again for another 2 measures. It's 3 measures. Two measures, and last ending up on 1 measure with the G. Then you go to a D, play that for 1 measure, back to the C, and then back to G. Okay, so after you play that part once, you're going to play it again, all the same chords in the same order. But now it gets to the point in the song where it has somebody else playing the electric guitar. So if you want somebody to play with you, you can have them play the electric guitar in this part. And I'm going to show you the chords now. You're going to start with the G chord. You go to the C chord. Back to the G chord again. Up to the D. C chord for 1 measure again. Ending on a G. So now I'll play it all together for you now. Okay, so now at this point we're at the chorus part of the song, and there's no new chords in this course. It's all the same couple of chords that I've showed you how to play already. There's going to be C, G, and D you're going to play in this section of the song. So it's going to start with C. It's going to go to G. Back to C again. And over to D. And you're going to play that twice. Now the next time you play, you're going to play the chords in a bit of a different order. You're going to play C, G, D, and then C and G again. So that's going to sound like this. And then you go back into the original verse of the song. Now, basically, those are all the parts of the song. If you listen to the song on the CD, you'll play along with it, and you hear the certain parts that I showed you, and you play along with those parts. All the stuff that I showed you, that's all the parts to the song you'll need to know how to play the song. What I always recommend to learning how to play a new song on the guitar is get the CD or download the song if you can. In this case, you can't because he only sells his songs on CD. But you get the CD and you play along with the songs and you practice it with the parts that I showed you on these videos, like this, including this video, and you practice it over and over again and play along with the song. That helps you get better at playing the song. Trust me, it works every time. So listen to the song if you have it, try to play along with it, watch this video a few times and practice with it, and like I said, that's the parts that I showed you. That's everything you need to know to play the song. It's just different parts are played over and over again. So practice it, listen to it, and play along with it. And I'm sure you'll be able to play it just like Kid Rock can. Take care. I'm the Online Guitar Guy. Bye.